Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the M36 Jackson, the Tier 6 American turreted tank destroyer. It's located on the north spawn of Prokhorovka Encounter, and this one's under the command of YouWho. That's a Tier 6 game with Tier 4 tanks in it, so he's actually going to have quite a big effect on the battlefield. Got the 90mm gun, 240 Alpha, 160mm of pen with standard ammo, and with the premium ammo that goes up to 243mm, so I doubt there's anything that it can't penetrate. It's basically an M10 hull with a much bigger turret with the 90mm gun inside it, and in fact they made 2,324 of these between November of 1943 and September of 1945. He's picked a nice position to fire from. It's not too obvious, he doesn't knock down the fence, and if you go to the other positions a little higher up, you would knock down the fence, and that would actually give away your position. From this one you can pull back and use the bush mechanic. So if your light tanks are doing their job properly, then you would actually be able to spot the enemy. We just saw a tree go down. The thing is, in this battle I'm afraid there aren't any light tanks to help us. Well, there's only one, it's a 14 TP, and it doesn't appear that he's going to be of any help. He's right up at the center line, and he's managed to find a P2640 just the other side. Ideally that 14 TP needs to be... oh, got a hit with the first shot. Ideally he needs to be in the bushes on this side of the map, and the second shot kills him, so he's got his first kill. Of course, as you know, he got his name YouWho, because you're trying to remind people it's me, YouWho. Can't reload in time. Oh, now just got hit in the tracks by a BDR. Now I think he wasn't spotted as such, so I think he was just a lucky hit aimed at the bushes. Next shot goes into another P2640. Will he take the kill? No, that was a little behind. You need to lead the target a little because the shell... oh, well, he's gone. We didn't get spotted, though. The standard reload time for this tank is 7.67 seconds. YouWho's got it down to 6.49. Now, there are a few enemy tanks there that if they get close enough, they could actually spot him. But, in fact, he spotted a Skoda. Again, it went behind, but it actually hit the Skoda T... I think it hit the tank behind the Skoda. That one definitely hit the BDR, and I'm pretty sure he was blind firing at the bushes. That one took him out of the game, and that's another kill. 2 kills. He's the lead scorer in this game so far. One shot into the Nashorn. Can he get the kill shot? Probably not, because he's pulling back in time. But look at that Hetzer. Oh, he managed to get a long way forward, but Hetzer's got notoriously bad view range. In fact, it's the second worst view range, I think, in the game. So he couldn't even spot him, even though he was out in the open. There was nothing between him and the Hetzer at all. He just couldn't spot him. Just from that distance alone, you can see how close the Hetzer got to him. But Hetzers are as blind as a bat, and if you've ever seen a real Hetzer, you'll understand why. They are basically just a steel box with very few viewports for the commander to see what's going on around. But really, the thing about the Hetzer is that they try to spot the enemy by sticking their heads out of the box, and once they found the enemy, they fixate on it, tunnel vision on that particular target. But they're so low that they can hide beneath the bushes, and they can set up an ambush on the enemy tank they can see. Of course, when it was impossible for them to stick their head out of the vehicle, they would, in fact, use their machine gun, which was a machine gun that could be operated from inside the cabin. Unusual facts about the Hetzer. But why did they actually come up with the Jackson? Well, because a lot of the tanks they were coming across were just too difficult for the 76mm gun on the standard M10 to actually deal with, or rather the 3-inch gun, because after all they started with the 3-inch gun and then they actually made their way to the 76mm in the end. In fact, you'll see that a lot of pictures of the M10 with piles of empty shell cases around them and the gun being used in an indirect fire mode simply because it was more expedient to use them than to find any other SPG who could actually do the work. Although the crews did love the M10 apparently, and presumably they liked the M36 Jackson as well, because of course that big shell did make a difference. There's not much that they couldn't penetrate. And it is still basically an M10 underneath. It's got the same hull as an M10, which means, of course, the armor is dreadful. On the front of the hull, it's very, very thin indeed. I mean, it says 114mm is the best armor on the front, but that's actually over the transmission. It's actually 25mm on the upper plate and elsewhere on the hull. And on the turret, it's 76mm at the front, 25mm at the side and rear. So very thin armor, designed only to stop bullets. They made it specifically thinner and lighter to make this thing move fast, but it doesn't move fast. With that big heavy gun, it is a big heavy gun, the 90mm, maximum speed is only 42 kilometers an hour. Now he has advanced, but he's not moving too far, because we know that there's a P-43 on the other side of the bowl, or was, and there's also a Skoda being seen somewhere in the tree line, and he's close enough that he might actually be able to spot where YouWho is if he gets close enough. This is one of those maps where it really does pay to have somebody else move forward first. The Excalibur's going to do that for us. We're a little in the open here. The Excalibur at least has got the bushes to cover him. Okay, now, aim where the Skoda was last seen. That's good. It's pulling back to use the bush mechanic. That's good. He's thinking ahead, you see. And there is... Oh, no, he didn't want to see that. That's an M6. Is he too close to the bushes? Well, he can just make out the outline. But that M6 is turning his gun towards us. I don't think he knows where we are precisely. And he's gone. Kill shot went to the T67 instead. And he's over on the other side of the field. The Excalibur just took a hit from somebody. I think it may have actually set light to him, but the engine fire didn't go on for very long. He has lost some hit points. Oh, and now there's a Valentine anti-tank now. Hit the gun shield. Nice. Beautiful shot, and the Excalibur got the kill. Now there's only 3 enemies left, so now we can abandon all caution and try and get the Skoda pulled all the way back to the back. That's a nice kill. In fact, that's a kill steal, because he waited until his teammate did the hit and then he finished him off. We lost the Excalibur, which means there must still be an enemy tank down at the base and at the bottom of the map, and that's probably the P-43 Biz. So he's moving over to the tree line to give him a bit more cover, and we can see the M10, so we can take him out. He's been hit. Oh, one shot didn't kill. If he waited a split second for somebody else to get the second shot in, he could have done a kill shot and got that kill. We're off to the races now. We're still joint leader on top scorer. The last remaining enemy is the P-43 Biz. He must be the one that killed the Excalibur, and there he is. And we've been spotted. One shot goes in. We didn't get the kill shot, but we might if we can get the reload in time. Hold the aim. He gets the second shot in, but the kill shot goes to the M10 RBFM, which means we miss out on that. Well, that was the textbook game by YouWho in the Jackson. He got an ace tanker out of that one. He also got a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle, and a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 5 exactly. He also got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game, and he got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates. And his win rate, well, you can see how good it was. 11,116. Very high super unicum. A lot of extra in there. In fact, he could have ended up the game with a lot more kills. He would have missed out on the Confederate, but he actually might have ended up with either a Top Gun or a Radley Walters, because quite a few times, he actually fired the round in, which stripped the enemy tank of most of their health, and then somebody else did the kill steal directly after that to take the kill away. So, yes, very well played in terms of supporting his team. Not so well played if you wanted to get kills. But as I said, he could have done it, he would have done it, but for the fact he didn't time his shells when they should go in. Sometimes you just have to wait a split second for somebody else to get another shell in, so they become a one-shot for that 240 alpha, and then obviously you get the kill every time. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, highest damage was 3,282 hit points. I'm literally, look at that, the next highest score was only the Excalibur with 1,472. Nearly half the amount that YouWho managed to get in that game. It is half the amount, less than half. And the next highest score after that was the T67 with 1,160. So very well played to get that. He was using the bush mechanic. He wasn't getting spotted. He wasn't in danger. He didn't have to keep moving position to avoid. Well, he did move once when the enemy BDR G1B did fire a blind shot in, but I'm sure that was a blind shot. When it came to kills, well, he shared the top spot because both him and the SU-76M managed to get 3 kills apiece. 2 kills went to the Excalibur, the T67, the M10 RBFM, and on the enemy team, only 2 players managed to get more than 1 kill, and that was the P43 Biz and their M10 RBFM. And when it came to base XP, he got that one too, so he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,308 went to YouWho, the only player to get over 1,000. 857 went to the Excalibur, and 843 went to the M4A3E8. He fired 21 rounds in the game, got 17 direct hits on the enemy and 15 penetrations, damage of 3,282 hit points, of which 2,288 were at more than 300 meters. So you can see, predominantly, he was firing at long range at the enemy, but he did have to fire close range at least a couple of occasions. 1 hit received. It was a non-penetrating shot. As I said, I think that was a blind shot by the BDR. It hit the tracks, so obviously didn't do any material damage to his health. He spotted 3 enemy vehicles, damaged 11 of the enemy, killed 3, so there's an 8 difference there to pick up his Confederate, and he got 1,474 hit points of spotting assist. He took away 48,980 credits from that game, and also 1,962 base experience points. So very, very well played indeed. A superb game in the Jackson. As I said, he could have swapped that Confederate for Radley's, but he chose to be a supporter rather than an assassin, and it worked out fine for him because he had a game with 0 damage other than that 1 track hit by the Excalibur, hit by the BDR. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.